Stephen Biddle, a real estate billionaire who enjoyed a short reign as head of the Florida Democratic Party before resigning in disgrace last fall, sexually harassed a female employee by describing his sexual partner's pubic hair, describing his pornography preferences, offering to take her shopping for lingerie, and touching her toes on his private jet, according to a new complaint filed in Miami-Dade Circuit Court. The allegations were described in a disturbing 27-page lawsuit filed Friday by 34-year-old Andrea Molina, who worked for 5 years as director of acquisitions for Biddle's real estate firm, Terranova. A spokesperson for Biddle issued a statement to New Times Tuesday calling Molina's allegations sensationalistic and overblown. In this case, revisionist history is being used in an attempt to leverage Stephen Biddle for a financial windfall, the statement read. Biddle's full statement is posted below. Biddle resigned last November following a Politico story in which 6 former Florida Democratic Party staffers and consultants described him as misogynistic and demeaning. The women did not accuse Biddle of inappropriately touching or threatening them. They described a pattern of behavior that created a hostile environment for female employees. Molina's lawsuit adds more credibility and detail to the women's complaints. Before joining Terranova, Molina says she earned $150,000 annually as a senior financial analyst for a commercial real estate firm. After meeting Biddle in fall 2012, she says, he recruited her to join Terranova, paying her only $90,000 a year but promising bonuses that would exceed her old salary. Biddle, who is 62 years old, also made numerous comments about her eventually taking over the company, according to the lawsuit. But Molina says her contract with Terranova came with some strange provisions. The written agreement obligated her to remain on call 24 hours per day, 7 days per week, and forbade her from ever disclosing her place of employment. It also came with an 18-month non-compete agreement that she says stopped her from leaving the company when she began being harassed. Shortly after Molina started her new job, Biddle bragged that sexual harassment cases filed against him were unwinnable, and that he was unbeatable because he knew all the judges in Miami, she says. Biddle, who is a licensed Florida attorney, told Molina he had studied the law and noted that plaintiffs tended to win cases only when there was a quid pro quo, demand for sexual acts in exchange for promoting or not firing an employee. According to the lawsuit, Biddle described to Molina that porn stories he enjoyed reading and the pubic hair styling of women with whom he had slept. He frequently referred to himself as a sapiosexual, or a person sexually attracted to intelligence. On one occasion, Molina says, Biddle asked her to reset his Facebook password, knowing that a message would pop up showing another female employee's bare breasts. But Molina says Biddle's behavior didn't stop at sexual harassment. During her 2 pregnancies, she says, he fat-shamed her by asking unnecessary questions about her weight and wondering if she would return to her pre-baby size. At one point, he asked Molina for photos of her scale, hoping for some relief from Biddle's invasive demands. Molina relented and sent him a picture looking down at the register of the scale over her grossly swollen feet and ankles in the hopes it would shut Biddle up and insulate her, albeit temporarily, from further harassment when she returned from maternity leave, the complaint says. Instead, he used the photo against her. When Molina returned from maternity leave in August 2014, she found Biddle had framed the picture of her tipping the scale at 200 pounds on swollen feet and put it on her desk, which was adjacent to his office in a highly trafficked area of an open office environment for both Terranova employees and guests to see. He also made inappropriate comments about breastfeeding and sent her several emails about wet nurses. In summer 2015, Molina says, Biddle invited her to lunch on the pretense of checking out retail real estate in Miami Beach. After a sushi lunch on Lincoln Road, she says, Biddle announced they would go shopping at Victoria's Secret. He refused to take no for an answer and became upset when she would not go into the store with him. Another time, in 2016, after Biddle and Molina had a business meeting in Philadelphia, he allegedly suggested she take off her shoes to get more comfortable, after which he grabbed her foot and touched her toes before she pulled away. Lawsuit says another female employee told Melina that Biddle had propositioned her with $5,000, placing a stack of bills on his desk before summoning her to his office for a private meeting. Melina says Biddle persistently asked her price, meaning the amount of money it would take for her to have sex with him. Though the 2017 Politico story described a breast-shaped stress squeeze ball Biddle kept on his desk, his office decor was apparently far worse. Melina's complaint says he displayed a taxidermied chihuahua with grossly large testicles, and a painting of a dog licking its balls with the caption, "Because they can." He also had a vanity license plate that read, "GRH Sheg," and a door sign that instructed visitors to take your shoes off before entering. Everything else. Melina's lawyers seem to anticipate criticism of her allegations in a section of the complaint that reads, "Why Melina didn't leave." According to the suit, she relied on the promises of year-end bonuses to support her growing family and could not find another job in her field because of the non-compete agreement. She says Biddle dangled the carrot of her someday running Terranova as a way to string her along. After the Politico story came out, Biddle threatened to identify the women who had accused him of creepy behavior and promised he would get even, according to Melina's lawsuit. Believing Melina was one of the anonymous sources in the story, Biddle fired her in January 2018. Although polygraph test results are rarely admissible in court, Melina's attorney, Karen Kuhlman Amlong, says she had polygraph examiner John Palmatier test Melina. He opined the overall statistical probability that she was truthful when answering the questions was approximately 98.3%, Amlong tells New Times. As of Tuesday, Biddle had not yet filed a formal response in court. His full statement to New Times reads thusly, "This complaint comes from someone who, by their own admission, has lived beyond their means and been unable to meet their financial obligations. In this case, revisionist history is being used in an attempt to leverage Stephen Biddle for a financial windfall." Stephen Biddle has acknowledged and repeatedly apologized for past inappropriate comments, for which he suffered very public consequences. He has since corrected this behavior, but past history has left him vulnerable to accusations. The truth is that Ms. Melina's position was eliminated in a company-wide reorganization that resulted in a simultaneous downsizing of 9 employees. The terms of her contract were clear, particularly to an Ivy League graduate, and she willingly agreed to the employment terms that she now challenges. When the correct context and the facts are put on the record, the allegations in this complaint will be shown to be nothing more than sensationalistic and overblown.